Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadha, Srivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vanamali, Govinda, Prabhu, Dandavat saying.
Pranam, Hare Krishna.
God let you go and make you go. Yes, sir. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandavat pranams to all. Please accept my humble obeisances. We welcome all of you for the today's morning program, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. We are very fortunate to have again His Grace Vanamali Govinda Prabhu, and he will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 7th chapter, and text 4. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
You will share the screen also, no, Prabhu?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Very happy to be amongst all the devotees of ICC. So, we will try to discuss on the pastime of this Bharat Maharaj, which is probably you might be relishing from other speakers. So, we will start with prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatu Jaya Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So we are reading from 5.7.4 Srimad Bhagavatam, the activities of Bharat Maharaj, chapter 7, text 4, or it is a prose in fact. So I'll just recite it. Sa bahuin mahipati pitra pita mahavad uruvatsallatya swe swe karmani vartamanaha prajaswadharmam anuvartamanaha paraya palayat.
Roji, can you make it font a bit more size?
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, Roji. Thank you so much.
Translation by His Divine Grace and purport by His Divine Grace A. Siddhidanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Maharaj Bharat was a very learned and experienced king on this earth. He perfectly ruled the citizens, being himself engaged in his own respective duties. Maharaj Bharat was as affectionate to the citizen as his father and grandfather had been. Keeping them engaged in their occupational duties, he ruled the earth. Purport: it is most important that the chief executive rule the citizens by keeping them fully engaged in their respective occupational duties. Some of the citizens were Brahmanas, some were Kshatriyas, and some were Vaishyas and Shudras. It is the duty of the government to see that the citizens act according to these material divisions for their spiritual advancement. No one should remain unemployed or unoccupied in any way. One must work as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra on the material path, and on the spiritual path, everyone should act as a brahmachari, grahastha, vanaprastha, or sannyasi. Although formerly the government was a monarchy, all the kings were very affectionate toward the citizens and they strictly kept them engaged in their respective duties. Therefore, society was very smoothly conducted. So, ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नम ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम्। Hare Krishna. So I seek the blessings of all my spiritual teachers and request all the assembled Vaishnavas to sincerely pray to bless me so that I can share something valuable from whatever I have heard for the pleasure of the devotees, for my own purification, and for the pleasure of their lordships. Shri Shri Radha Vinod, Shri Shri Jagannath Balbhadra Subhadramai, Shri Shri Nityananda Natwar Gaur Sundar, and Srila Prabhupada. So, in today's verse, we can see about how it is mentioned about the engaging of the citizens by Bharat Maharaj very expertly so that they progress in the spiritual life according to their nature. So in our discussion, we will try to see a little bit about Varnashrama, that how it plays a role for a Vaishnava as a sadhaka in our Vaishnava, Gaudiya Vaishnava path to advance spiritually. Some details and intricacies on practical dealings with the authorities and with our own self introspection. And on the another part, we will see how a continuous engagement is very, very beneficial for one's spiritual progress. So we'll divide our discussion into two parts. First on the Varnashram, how it helps our spiritual progress, and how continuously engagement in some services will also helping our progressive path in the spiritual life. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions here that he has kept the citizens fully engaged and there was no unemployment. As we can see that in the Raja Rishis, whether it is Ram Rajya or whenever Yudhishthir Maharaj and all saintly kings used to rule, they used to make sure nobody goes unemployed, and it was the king's responsibility to see everybody is very nicely engaged, and by that they spiritually advance also. So it was a responsibility of the government or the monarch or the king to see that the citizens are advancing spiritually, and they were very affectionate to the citizens. As we see that Lord Ram, by their own example, how nicely he was ruling, that when a washerman was doubting the actions of Lord Ram, and Lord Ram used to go as a spy to watch whether each and every citizens are happy, they are happily engaged, or is there any concerns. And the moment he saw that there is a concern about keeping a wife who had been away from the home for a long time, uh, the washerman was questioning that Lord Ram can keep it, but not me. So he immediately, to set a correct example, because the leader should be out of doubt. So very mercifully, although it was transcendental and it was nothing of the mundane world, love in separation, but Lord Ram exhibited that to set a correct example, which is very, very difficult. So to be a leader, to be an ideal example, to set an ideal example is always challenging. But the saintly kings, the Raj Rishis, they never failed in doing so, or they themselves were very much engaged. Like Ambrish Maharaj, he was although king, but he used to nicely delegate the services and oversee the management of the kingdom. But at the same time, he was almost very, very spiritually engaged himself. Hmm. Almost it is said till afternoon time he will be doing his spiritual duties, and then also he will have a meeting. He will see whether all the ministers are doing their job nicely, and himself set the right example. Savai Manah Krishna Padara Vindayo. All his senses he engaged in the services. Also, Swayambhuva Manu. So we see that how, although he was a grahastha, he was a king, but he maintained a very Krishna conscious environment. He used to rise. His alarm itself was Krishna's kirtan or melodious bhajans, which the assistants and the servants used to sing to wake him up and to make him sleep also. So he did in fact rule the entire universe, but in a very, very Krishna conscious way. So they are neither attached, but they do their duties very responsibly. And that was also seen in Parikshit Maharaj, that he was not allowing Kali Purusha to enter. He had the power to keep him away. But after the request of Kali Purusha, that I am also your citizen, and then he gives 4 places and 1+1 in the gold. So they were very, very responsible in their duties themselves. They set a very right example themselves, and then they ruled the citizens very affectionately for their own spiritual progress, which we have seen. So with this background, let us enter into the discussion that how Varnashram system, which generally keep in account. Initially, in our Gaudiya Vaishnava, we saw that the Goswamis, they were wearing white color dress. They were not wearing saffron. So there was no system of sannyas. But when we saw that after the degradation and the multiple deviations in the parampara started, it was Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur who established this brahmachari, sannyas, grahastha, the ashram system in our Gaudiya parampara. And then Srila Prabhupada followed it. So he was the one who established mathas or the ashramas where the devotees can stay, and then the dress system, color system was established by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Because although Varnashram system is not the highest, Ramanand Rai was also mentioning this to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was asked for. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's reply was, Eho bahya age kaho Rai. This is external, this is superficial. So having understood that Varnashram system is not the highest in front of Bhakti, but it is a very, very good stand from where a support from where a Vaishnava sadhaka can very easily, comfortably progress to higher dimensional realms of bhakti and transcendence. Unless this is not very stable, one cannot rise higher than this. So when one situates oneself in a proper varna and ashrama system, then it is giving him a very good opportunity to introspect or do the duties according to his psychophysical nature and then focus on Krishna, the ultimate goal. So if one doesn't do that, first of all, it is said it is very important and imperative to be on a varnashram system, follow, to be a human being. So where the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, different castes are there, there are rules and regulations, and basically these are only to facilitate our further progress on the spiritual path. If one fails to identify in which ashrama or which varna especially, when then it is very difficult for him to go further ahead. When I had asked personally to one of the sannyasis that how to select an ashrama, so the sannyasi told that first we have to understand what varna we are into. Varna and then ashrama. So what is a varna? They are the qualities. In what qualities one is born. And kalau shudra sambhava, Srila Prabhupada mentioned in Kali Yuga, the Shastras tell in Kali Yuga, it will be only Shudras which will be taking birth. So then it all degraded because of the intercaste marriage, which was already there, Varna and Ashrama system. But because of intercaste marriage, the things became very topsy-turvy and the whole Varnashram system was practically null and void. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has, that is why, emphasized on the chanting of the holy name and not on the Varnashram system. So having understood this, if one follows the Varnashram system, then it gives him a very good, stable atmosphere. So Srila Prabhupada was very genius also. He has established many activities. If somebody wants to do preaching and study scriptures, then there is a facility created for them. One wants to do deity worship, he has a facility for them. But some is having some Kshatriya spirit, wants to do management, then that service is also available. Somebody wants to do fund collection or just wants to assist as a menial servant of all the three. So all the facilities were created. Otherwise, imagine if we had no institution like ISKCON organization and we were supposed to just chant in forest under a tree. How difficult? How many could have done that? Not many. But now, with any skill which can be engaged in Krishna's service, so many of them can be dovetailed and engaged in this devotional service. So Srila Prabhupada was genius at this. That is what makes Srila Prabhupada very, very successful. I'm sure some of you might have heard the story that how Srila Prabhupada turned a thief into a devotee, a thief who was never sleeping at night. was always awake, trying to see what to loot, where to loot from. And he had also seen a golden watch in Srila Prabhupada's wrist, and he was planning to steal that. And once, when he was about to make such a plan and came in front of Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada immediately offered, "Do you want this watch?" Prabhupada somehow, with his ability, could understand his intention, and then, no, Prabhupada, I'm just here to do some service. And then, what service could you like to do? Prabhupada told that, I see that you are awake night, and I also do translations, but there are some dogs which are disturbing me in the night time. Would you like to keep them away? Sure, Srila Prabhupada, I would like to do that. And then slowly, Prabhupada saw that he is anyway awake in the night and sleeping in the daytime. I can call him for Mangalarti. So he called him for Mangalarti at 4:30, and then he used to go to sleep. And slowly and steadily, like this fellow became a devotee. He started staying in the temple, became initiated, and if I'm not wrong, he became a president also of a temple. So from a thief to the president, Srila Prabhupada engaged the propensity, and he saw that what one likes. When Prabhupada saw that somebody like Jadurani Mataji likes painting, so immediately he engaged her into painting for the books which he was printing. And this is the expertise of a spiritual master, a mentor, an authority to see that what his subordinates are inclined towards and engage that. So what happens is our energy becomes focused more on thinking of Krishna rather than getting struggling to identify our work and maintain ourselves. So yes, somebody may ask a question, but Prabhuji, didn't Srila Prabhupada make the young boys into sannyas? 19-year-old, 20-year-old, and some of them fell down also. What about that? Prabhupada never saw Varna. He directly engaged into high, pure devotional service. But yeah, that was a different time. That was urgency. Prabhupada was not knowing that when he will have to leave this world, and he wanted to establish a worldwide mission. So he did this, but now there is no urgency. Prabhupada has well established it, and our ISKCON movement is well established. Because if we do on an urgency basis for a long time, then it will result into burnout. People will not be able to sustain stably and attract more people. So if we have to attract new people, they should see us stably performing, and that stability comes when we do an activity based on our own psychophysical nature. And even our authorities are very kind enough to give the similar service. They will not force us to do something which we don't like. But yes, sometimes that need may come. And that is our dedication to Srila Prabhupada. Out of love, out of gratitude, we may do that. So that can be a percentage of our endeavor, maybe 30 or 40% of our services, maybe, which are given to us, which we may not be liking, but we need anyway do it because we are part of organization. If we are a separate entity of our own, then we don't have to bother about that. But when we are in a ISKCON organization, we need to do some things which are not of our nature. As here, Bharat Maharaj was engaging everybody according to his nature. So that is also an organization the king is engaging. But higher services, that when Guru is giving something which is difficult, not of our nature, but still he does out of love, it gives a lot of purification. But not everybody can be on this platform for a long time, especially. So that is a time we need to express, and we should be very clear for our own protection and for the contribution of the mission itself, that I would also like to do such and such services because I enjoy that. And when you enjoy your work, you don't have to work for a day. When you enjoy your any prescribed duty, you don't have to work for a day because you just love it. Like, for example, my area of interest is youth preaching. So I see the boys when they shift from hostel to the center, they get up early in the morning, they become very contributive to the society. It gives a lot of joy, although there is a lot of endeavor required. But this area is very fruitful and very interesting for me. But if somebody give something which I may not like, then it may tax me, and my meditation on Krishna will be little bit bothered. So we have to have a healthy balance, and ultimately it should rise us above transcendentally to make us more nearer to Krishna. Now here comes a very practical point which we need to focus on. I would like to highlight upon is that sometimes when we go to our authority or in an organization of a temple, we are given some services which we may like or we may not like. Like in organization, always it will be like that because we are in a system where things are to be done. Then only we can be together and propagate. It's a good organization for our own protection. So if we like, then it is wonderful. But if we don't like, then there will be little problems. So how to do that? We should understand that that this is a need of the hour, and to cooperate and to continue doing that and to be able to do that, we should have a very healthy relationship with our guru or with our authority who is giving us a service. So just to please him, that is the time which will give us energy to do that service which we don't even like it. But there is another catch here. If we like our services or the services given to us are what we like, there also we have to be little careful because there can be two possibilities. Let us say when we approach our authority or guru that Guru Maharaj or so and so Prabhu, I would like to do this. What is your opinion? And they may tell, yes, go ahead. And we may be very jubilant. I have got the permission. Yes, it is authorized. I like this and I am given the permission also to do double mercy. But sometimes our seniors may give us service just because they are not sure whether if they tell no, what will be our reaction. Just to make us happy and to make us continue in the devotional service, they may agree, but in the heart, they may not be so much willing to tell yes. So this we need to be aware by cross-checking that, Prabhu, what would you like me to do? That should be the best question. So we should not assume that yes, I have got permission and then we keep on doing whatever we like. We should always have a check and balance. Initially, we may, but eventually we should come onto the platform of asking that what would you like me to do. That is the most safest platform for us, because as a conditioned soul, as a junior, we may not be able to know what is best for us. So even in Gajendra section in the 8th canto, Srila Prabhupada tells in the purport that one has to identify his psychophysical nature and based on that make himself very convenient and comfortable to fight with Maya. Because unless we are not strong, Gajendra was not strong in water, crocodile was not strong in land, but the fight was in the water and crocodile had an upper hand. Similarly, somebody may be strong in brahmacharya ashram, somebody may be strong in grihastha ashram. So we need to identify where we are strong to fight with Maya and accordingly safeguard ourselves, so that because we need to be a very strong soldier. If the soldier is weak himself, then Maya will capture. So that is our duty, and with the guidance of our seniors who observe us, we will be able to judge that. And that is why generally the brahmacharya training is advised for everybody, even the one who is entering grihastha ashram, so that brahmacharya training will give the essential principles and space for introspection, that what is our tendencies, and allows the guru to observe us. So that is why generally we recommend our youth devotees before they get married to stay in a base in a center like we have ICC yoga above, and serve under an authority for 1 or 2 or 3 years, whatever their financial status allows or family permission allows, and that will give them a very great boost to follow the Brahmanical principles even when they enter the Grihastha ashram. So this is regarding how the Varnashram system plays a role for a growing Vaishnava, although it is not the topmost thing. But if we know the subtleties of the Varnashram system, that how it helps us to grow further ahead, then accordingly we can apply it time, place, circumstances under the guidance of Guru and progress. So this was one part of the discussion. And the next part is that a time gap. This is a very short discussion itself. that here Bharat Maharaj constantly engages. He makes sure that nobody goes unoccupied, unemployed. So personally, for our own life, we should take the responsibility of making sure that we are always busy and there is no free time gap. Gap means always problem. Shri Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Satatam kirtayanto ma. Satatam means continuously. Not that every Satatam here, Jiva Goswami says, is not that on every second basis. Now that is going to be very difficult for a practicing sadhaka, but on a daily basis. We have to chant our 16 rounds daily. We should not say that, oh, today I chanted 14, I will do the 2 tomorrow. That kind of postponing tendency is not allowed. That is the starting of our fall down. We have promised to our Guru that daily 16 rounds. So we should try and complete our rounds even though we may be having headache or our day will be very hectic. Unless our illness is very severe and we are bedridden, that may be a special case. But otherwise, on a normal scenario, we should not postpone or we should not skip our Bhagavatam classes because Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Another place Krishna tells, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam ena mam upayanti. So many couple of places and more, he tells this satatam word continuously. Because gap means sense gratification, time gap. So Ajamila had a time gap. He went to do service. He went to the forest to get flowers for deity worship. But there was a scene of a girl and a boy embracing Shudra and Shudrani, and immediately the Dhyayato Vishayam Pumsaha, his contemplation became bad and it finally resulted into an action. Bharat Maharaj had a time gap. He left everything to the forest, but got distracted by the deer. And the result was he had to pay 3 lifetimes before he could go back. So this by these pastimes we learn that we should not allow time gaps to come in our devotional service. And what problems a sadhaka will face in not allowing time gaps to come. Number one is his very good sadhana. Unless our sadhana is not good, we will not be able to get the strength to do satata kirtana, satata bhajana. It requires some sattva guna. Unless we are in raju and tamoguna predominantly, it is very difficult. See, you can see morning sadhana is very easy, but evening and afternoon difficult to read, hear, associate. So we should utilize our morning hours for our sadhana, and that will give us sattva guna, with which we will be able to do our services constantly without any time gap. And Prabhupada tells in one of the purport, the best way to control our senses, to not engage, allow our anarthas to flow, is to follow the instructions of the Guru. So unless we don't have that strong connection and feeling for our Guru, our authority, it will be difficult to do satata kirtana. We will, especially the relationship. So this should be safeguarded very much, our relationship, and that will help us to do our Satata Kirtan. In one of the ninth cantos, one of the chapters Prabhupada tells, probably the 4th chapter, that laborious devotional service is what is mandatory. Now, what is this laborious devotional service? For example, if somebody is a pujari, he has to do a lot of activities, wash vessels, make the cloths ready, the turban ready. He has to follow so many purificatory measures for himself, for the surroundings. He cannot go for passing water, and he has to be very, very careful. And it's a very laborious thing to morning 4:30 entering, and sometimes 2-3-4 hours. Or book distribution. It's a laborious service. But when one engages in a laborious devotional service, then there is no room for material desires to crop up. Prabhupada tells, this is the way you can get rid of your material desires. And laborious devotional service, you may wonder that, oh, now my age is 45 plus, I cannot labor. But we are not the body, we are the soul. So we have to transcend the bodily limitations by our sadhana, and that will make us wonders to do. like on one Ekadashi day, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur saw that one of the disciples or few of the disciples are sleeping because it is Nirjala Ekadashi. So he was wondering, what is the matter? Why the brahmacharis are sleeping in the ashram? So they told today is Nirjala Ekadashi, so we need to take rest, survive till tomorrow. Then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was wild. He told, take rice, eat rice, but go out and preach. So our movement is Goshtyanandi. Nowadays, many ISKCON devotees also, they are very much fond of attending Bhakti Shastri online, Bhakti Vaibhav online. And the tendency may come that, oh, I will do my scriptural reading and go back home, back to Godhead. But that is not what Prabhupada's mood and mission was. Our mood and mission of Prabhupada was to not only thoroughly read the scriptures, but go out and give it to others. Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. Krishna shiksha. Koro Krishna shiksha. Bhajo Krishna naam. So we have to go out, engage in Sankirtan and do book distribution. So that will give us a constant, solid engagement. So in nutshell, what we discussed today was about the Varnashram system and how it helps us to progress further ahead if taken in a good spirit, although it is not the highest. How to identify our nature, our liking, and that by get fully engaged into Krishna consciousness for long time, not just Ayaram, Gayaram. But the stability will be provided by Varnashram and that will attract more people. And how to understand that when to take service of our liking, when the authorities are giving, we should check whether is he giving it for just to maintain us in bhakti or he is giving us, sometimes they have faith on us that whatever he does is perfect. So that is a good position. But if they are giving us so that we will be happy, then that is not a very good position. We should in fact do whatever they want us to do because that will give us more purification. However, I'm not raising a contradiction here. We have to do whatever we like, but that is on the initial stages. But eventually, we should do more services which others like or our authorities like, our guru likes. So that requires some purification, some advancement. Initially, take the help of our psychophysical nature, do the services, and slowly become steady and advance, and then do more services which are not of our liking also. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur established the Varnashram system in our Gaudiya Parampara, and then Srila Prabhupada followed it. And then we discussed about the Gajendra section to make us understand how to fight with Maya to be very, very strong. And the last discussion was about time gap and how laborious devotional service will help us to remove all the material desires. And shlokas from Bhagavad Gita to quote about Satata Kirtan. So I'm not very good in Varnashram. So it was a little difficult shloka for me to honestly speak upon to the August assembly gathered online today. But I request if somebody would like to throw some light, if I have gone distracted here and there or spoken something which should have not been, then please, I would like to be very happily corrected and enlightened. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you so much for a very wonderful and instructive class, and you have nicely summarized at the end. So devotees lines are already unmuted and they can ask any questions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vanamali, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much. Thank you, Prabhuji. You are very busy, but still, you accepted the request for giving the class. Prabhuji, I have one clarification, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you mentioned, that, we should not only just study the scriptures, right, through the structured programs like Bhakti Shastri or Bhakti Vaibhav, etc., but also we should go out and preach. So I have one question here, Prabhuji. One thing is that, Prabhuji, personally, I have experienced this type of structured program really gives very strong conviction in the philosophy for us, Prabhuji. And another, I think, that a real question, Prabhuji. See, the preaching, going out and preaching, that may not be the nature of everyone, right, Prabhuji? Somebody may be able to like can articulate what we got it and what is the parampara has real message has been transmitted, and then that can be very well explained. Whereas some people, they may not have that articulation skill. So if they go out and preach, it may not give the um, we will not be able to deliver the
Yeah.
message correctly,
Yeah,
and
I
that also
understood
may
the
be.
question. I understood. So I should have probably a little more clarified that going out and preaching doesn't mean just to distribute books or open a center, but assisting. Like somebody may not like direct preaching, but they can assist indirectly by cooking, by facilitating. One can take a car and help the other preachers to go somewhere. So whatever one's psychophysical nature helps, so that he supports the preaching mission to reach the message far and wide. Not that he just keeps himself happy, cozy by reading the scriptures, because it gives a intellectual titillation, and they keep on reading one after another Acharya's commentary, and they find a very juicy engagement, and not bother about how to facilitate this to reach to others. That kind of attitude should be avoided, because now with online access to so many preachers worldwide, one may tend to just engage, and I'm not sharing my own. One of the very senior preachers mentioned this, that this tendency is coming in ISKCON devotees, that they are trying to only hear for one's own nourishment, but they are not wanting to do. They are telling, oh, I'm not very as you also mentioned, they may think that I'm not qualified to preach, but some or the other talent Krishna will and should have given for a devotee, because everybody has some talent, so that should be identified and dovetailed directly or indirectly in the preaching mission. That was my intention.
Yeah, I understand, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, thank you for sharing that point.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
No,
Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhuji. I have one small question. We heard that how Varnashrama system is followed for one to develop further in Krishna consciousness. But a devotee who is actually fully who is very advanced in devotional service and who is almost in the renowned stage is only given sannyasa. Then why is that still after that? Because bhakti is transcendental to the Varnashrama system, and why even at that stage the Varnashrama system is followed in ISKCON? Just wanted to clarify this.
In one of the purports, Srila Prabhupada mentions that even the sannyasis should attend the Mangalarti, chant japa with the devotees in the temple hall, and follow the 4 regulative principles and chant the 16 rounds, which probably they are already into the devotionals. Like they don't have to actually come for Mangalarti. One may feel like that. But Prabhupada tells to set an example for the upcoming devotees. The sannyasis should do that. And Maya is very strong. Maya is very strong. It doesn't stop acting after becoming sannyas, and that is why now there is a since 2002 there has been a committee. I don't know the exact full form, but it is stands Sannyasi Guru GBC Accountability Committee, which asks accountability from even the gurus and the sannyasis of ISKCON, who have to report whether what are the services done, how is their sadhana going on. And since this has been started 2002 onwards, there is practically no change of ashram in sannyas ashram in ISKCON. Before that there was, because Srila Prabhupada left and there were disturbances. So that means that there is a need for that also. And Maya can be very strong. So even though one may be very elevated, as you were mentioning, that after coming to sannyas stage also, why one has to be in a varnashram system. So it is not just for his own thing, but also to set an example. And as Srila Prabhupada tells that he should also not escape the Mangalarti. So we follow the acharyas, because actually sannyas is prohibited in Kali Yuga in one sense. But on what strength we in ISKCON still prescribe sannyas or brahmacharya is because our acharyas have recommended, and for their pleasure, for preaching purpose, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, and we don't take sannyas on our own strength, because the external environment is so polluted. So even a sannyasi can become distracted in one sense, because I was hearing that one senior Vaishnava, senior sannyasi in our ISKCON movement was talking to his disciples that although his disciples were very senior, very, very good in preaching, very successful in preaching, they have spent more than 30 years, but he was telling, I'm not giving you sannyas because after becoming a sannyasi, you will become lonely. There will be nobody to correct you. And if you don't maintain your sattva guna so high, there is a chance that you may also get distracted. So for your own protection, I feel that you continue as a brahmacharya, and better not to take sannyas. So with this understanding, with this Prabhupada quote in the purport, and I feel that it is done for one's own protection, because till we leave this material body, we have the prarabdha karma. Number one. Number two, to set an example for the upcoming generations, that if sannyasis have to come for Mangal Arati and they are also accountable, then what about us? Because otherwise, people will learn from them that the sannyasi is not coming, so why should I also attend Mangal Arati? But when they say that, oh, sannyasi himself is coming for Mangal Arati, then I should attend. So this gives an inspiration. So this is my humble understanding.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, any other devotees? Sorry, questions?
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Dhanwad Pranam, Balaji Govind Prabhu ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, as you said, the devotional service has to be satata, eternally. But definitely, the chanting will be completing in the morning hours only. But sometimes there will be anarthas, Prabhu. Maybe sometimes we may become unknowingly, we may become angry, or we may be egoistic. So these kind of hurdles may be there, Prabhu. So is it how to cope
Oh,
up with,
yes.
and
Yes.
how to continue in devotional service
Yes.
uninterrupted, Prabhu?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Balaji Govind Prabhu, for bringing out this point. Recently, I attended a seminar in Chennai on Are You Sure Your Bhakti is Pure by Balram Shakti Prabhu, and I got some very nice insights from the scriptures, which I would like to share. As you might have heard, that I already spoke in the session that what Jiva Goswami interprets Satata Kirtan, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam, is not every second. He tells it is only every daily basis. So we cannot be Krishna conscious every second in the sadhaka stage. For sadhaka, every second Satata Kirtana is impossible. So Jiva Goswami's interpretation is very soothing and hope giving for a sadhaka like us, that it is on a daily basis and not on a every second basis. Now, another thing he told, that if we try to see our pure devotional service definition, Anya Bhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma Nadvritam Anukulyena Krishnanu Sheelanam Bhaktiruttama. So that definition may make us sometimes feel discouraged that I am not on pure devotional platform. But when based on different scriptural analysis, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's quotes in Jaiva Dharma, the verse in Bhagavad Gita, that apicheta suduracharo bhajate ma mananya bhag sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hi saha. That even I accept a abominable, a sinful activity done, but if he has now reinstated himself to pure devotional service, I consider him as sadhu. So now your question, that sometimes I feel angry, sometimes I feel confused, or any anartha, lust, greed, anger, envy, illusion, pride, which may constantly attack the sadhaka, and one may feel that that means I am not a pure devotee, is not the correct understanding. Because, as you know, Srila Prabhupada was asked, Prabhupada, how many pure devotees are there? Then Prabhupada asked the assistant, how many ISKCON devotees are there currently? So the devotee told around 1,000. So Prabhupada told 1,000 pure devotees. Now they were also not on the pure devotional platform as we think. So what is understanding? If one has a pure Shraddha, that by following this path of bhakti, the morning program, the process laid down by Srila Prabhupada, I will get to perfection. I will go back home, back to Godhead. I will get rid of birth, death, old age, disease. So this is the first qualification, Shraddha. Your Shraddha should not be weakened. Am I in ISKCON? Will it actually make me perfect? That kind of doubt should not be there. Number two, your willingness that I want to practice on that platform where I will not have any anartha. Satatam kirtayanto mam. Every second I remember Krishna. That willingness is there in you. And number three, the goal should be perfect. The goal is Krishna prema and not money, not fame, anything else. So when these three criteria, Shraddha, willingness, and goal are perfect, then the number fourth, capacity to perform may not be there. Still one qualifies to be on a pure devotional platform. So we are on the pure devotional platform if we are having these three qualities, but we may not be a pure devotee. We are on the process of becoming a pure devotee. So this thing can be kept in mind, and this can be very hope giving that yes, we are not every second pure devotee, but at least on everyday basis we are following the instructions and trying our best. The willingness is very much correct. The capacity may not be there as of now, but the willingness is there that one day I want to be capable of remembering without any anarthas. Does it help, Prabhu?
Definitely, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Very wonderfully. The class was very nice, Prabhu. Wonderful. Thank you again. Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Thank you for your encouragement. Hare Krishna. Balaji Govinda.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat pranams. Thank you very much for the nice class, Prabhu. In relation to the last question and answers, it has clarified so many of my doubts. Because this summer holidays, Prabhu, I'm getting constant flow of guests, non-devotees, and disturbing my sadhana. I'm getting annoyed and angry. And that is making me feel so bad because why I'm getting these disturbances, why I'm becoming angry. So what to do, Prabhu?
Yes, it is a test of Krishna for us. Even for us also, there are many times engagements which come, which we have to take care for youth devotees, to take them to hospital, and we have to meet many non-devotees there. So time and again, we have to deal with this and taking it as a burden of love. So our gratitude to Prabhupada, our gratitude to our seniors who brought us into Krishna consciousness is, if it is increased by our sadhana and by our introspection, contemplation, that what we were before, and probably we were also one of the non-devotees, but Krishna has chosen us and saved us. And if we also see them in that same perspective, we may not become angry at least. And patience. Nishchayat, dhairyat, tat karma pravartanat. Enthusiasm actually is a combination. Intelligence means acting enthusiastically, patiently in Krishna consciousness. So we can do some practical things also. For example, we can tell our guests that the morning time I spend for my sadhana, and please allow me. Or we can schedule the guests in such a way that our morning program is intact and there is no disturbance. So once we take up our morning program juice, then we can make our interactions with the guests also. We can tell priorly that when you come, we will spend 3-4 hours, 1 hour for our personal discussion, and in that 3-4 hours, 1 hour we can keep spiritual discussion, that this is what I have benefited. And because now you will be taking an authority kind of role spiritually for them, and they will be a subordinate to you, as very nicely mentioned in this verse, that Bharat Maharaj engaged them. So we can engage them, either their children or the parents, in such a way that they may find Krishna consciousness appealing. Otherwise, one mistake which we may do by becoming angry is we may set a wrong example and a wrong message. They may not speak, but they will tell that, oh, after coming to ISKCON, still they are becoming angry. So they are immature. They may take a wrong message also. So in order to not float the wrong message, we need to be very careful that our behavior is very appealing to them, and we try our best, and surely not compromising on our sadhana, but pre-planned. Now you understand that this is a concern, or you can discuss with other grahasthas who maturely and successfully handle this situation. Being a brahmachari, it may be difficult for me to give more practical tips, but I'm sure there will be good amount of grahasthas who may be very nicely handling them, or engaging them, like we have Sunday classes, engaging the children in them. So when we give a positive message that yes, we are not aloof from the society, we are in the society, we want to help you, and we want to positively engage you, and slowly and steadily we will see that grahasthas, it is a little challenging for them to immediately act upon. So giving them the time and space, I'm sure that it will be not sending a wrong message, and at the same time protect you from getting distracted or disturbing the sadhana. These were my some humble thoughts. If anybody would like to add to this, I humbly welcome and sincerely request to do so.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Dandavat pranams.
Dhanwad Pranam, Mataji. Anybody would like to share on that to help Mataji more? Many of the grahasthas are there who can practically give some tips also. Our Sarvaguna Mataji also, she has classes. Sarvaguna Mataji, would you like to share something? Maybe if she's online.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, actually, I'm little busy with my household work and I'm listening to that. Every day this happens.
Okay, okay.
But anyways, as you said, we need to give importance to our sadhana also, as well as we have to take care, because we cannot leave them. They should not feel that, ISKCON devotees are like this, they don't care us. No, that should not happen. So morning sadhana, everything we should keep intact. And other times we can give them prasadam in the mood of service. We can pray to Krishna that let them also come to devotional service, and then prepare prasadam and serve them. And we can tell them about our ISKCON activities if they are interested.
Yes.
Or we can discuss. Usually our Haridev Prabhu does this. Whenever there is a gathering, he brings Bhagavatam book and he says, come, we'll discuss at least one shloka. So
Yeah.
that way we can engage them. So these are some of the ways that we try to do, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you. Hope we did not disturb you in your morning.
No,
duties.
Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Even Dayamai Baldev Prabhu is there. He is a lawyer and he has to meet with so many, sometimes criminals also. Prabhu, would you like to share something? Dayamai Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. I am also doing parallelly, Prabhuji, hearing the class and into other activities. Sorry.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes, Prabhuji, and it is also challenging, Prabhuji, when we deal with the outside world. As you rightly said, the standard is that, as Prabhupada has mentioned, morning sadhana will really help us, Prabhuji. That will help us how to deal with the outside world without getting frustrated, anger, and maintaining our balance. So, this is what I wanted to share, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dayamai Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
So should we end here, Prabhu? If there are no questions more?
Yes, Prabhu, like I have one question.
Okay, okay.
Prabhu, like now, like all guys these days are like behind the money. So because of that, I think all this like Varnashrama is like non-existing kind of, because everybody's behind money, and because of that, like everybody becoming Sudra, like working for salaries and all this. I think working for the salaries comes as part of the Sudra class, I guess. So in that case, like most of them, even though they have hidden talents, or like their nature is not like that. I mean, meaning like some other Kshatriyas or some are good in business, but because of social pressures and other things, or pressure from the parents saying, okay, if you go to the job, so you don't need to, I mean, you will be tension free kind of. But these days, I mean, whoever is working, they know how much tension it is, but that is different. But so how do we come out of this thing, Proji?
Yeah. So, in my humble understanding, I had heard once Shitalanga Gaurang Prabhu addressing the Grahastha devotees in a DT worship seminar. So I will just try to learn some things from them because I felt it very practical. He was quoting Srila Prabhupada only, that who is a Grahastha? I will try to answer only in the Grahastha perspective, because even in Brahmacharya ashram also this question is applicable, because there are some brahmacharis who don't do services of their nature, but just because of getting some name and fame, they may like to do something else. But since the audience is majorly Grahastha, we'll try to keep the discussion limited to from Grahastha's perspective. So Prabhu was quoting Srila Prabhupada that a Grahastha is a person who is satisfied with what comes on his own accord. So he was basically telling that sometimes deity worship becomes very difficult, and we do very fast and run for the office. So he was mentioning this should not be done. One should very patiently, lovingly perform the deity worship at home, and should not give the reason that my job is there, I have so many other responsibilities, and shortcut the deity worship, or be negligible, I mean neglecting the subtleties and the details of the deity worship. So there he was telling that we have to really get the Brahmana training, that we have to learn satisfaction, because whatever is written in our fate, that much only we will earn. Even though we may become a devotee, our karma has been gone, but this amount of salary which we are going to get, unless Krishna is going to give us some special mercy with us, our special devotion, it will generally remain the same. So one should understand that according to our psychophysical nature, whatever we are destined to, we will get the same salary. So this connection to Krishna and the faith in the scriptures should be there before entering the Grahastha ashram. Otherwise, it becomes very challenging, especially when the relatives inspire us to endeavor more for material benefits. It may disturb the sadhana. So the 8-8 formula given by Bhakti Vinod Thakur, 8 hours for the body, 8 hours for the soul, and 8 hours for our work. If this becomes imbalanced, then it becomes very difficult. So we may not be able to bring a very revolutionary change. For that, the Srila Prabhupada had a desire of Varnashram system to be very much nicely established. Our society is working. We still don't have real examples and models which we can show to the world. There are some here and there like Gokul Dham, Hungary, which are working very much, and His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrut Maharaj, Shivram Swami Maharaj for long term, which will be the shelter for many of the outsiders also coming days when the tax will increase in Kali Yuga, etc. So it is a very long term process for the solution to come. But at our stage, like we can do our best. We can set a small example by understanding and inspiring others whom we are into, that be satisfied with whatever comes on its own accord, and do such kind of services which suits our psychophysical nature eventually. And if it as a grahastha, it's his responsibility to take care of his dependents, so he cannot suddenly do some changes which may affect the basic sustenance, but gradually he can try. And when we set very nice strong examples, like for example, Radha Raman Prabhu, although he is a software person, but he has left the job and come, and he has some savings, HDFC, some mutual funds, and he is making his son not go to the school. But not everybody can do, and it is not that everybody has to do the same way. Not all the grahasthas can go to the farm, because we are attuned to stay in the city. But the whole idea is that our Krishna consciousness has to be enhanced, whether in grihe thako, vane thako, sada hari hari bole dako. So if our sadhana in the morning program is getting affected, if our service, if our relationship and exchange, the loving exchange is becoming affected, then that has to be changed. So that can be the benchmark for now. And how to do that? It depends on case to case. how much, and the principle is how much he's attached to Krishna, how much Shraddha he has developed. To that degree we can guide him. Otherwise, artificially changing him from software job to his Varna job may be very difficult, and it may not be practical also. So it's a very gradual process. It is desired on a long term, but we have to start setting an example for the society to watch. Otherwise, simply preaching Varnashram may not make sense. They have to see some examples right in their front of them, and that will inspire them also to probably follow. Like in GV, in Thane, they are inspiring the farmers to have organic farming. So they are literally showing the results and benefits. So they are now slowly giving up the chemicals. So when we show such examples, then there will be a change in the society, and it will take a good amount of time, in my humble understanding. Is that okay, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for making it clear, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. We have overboarded the time already.
So we can end the class here with Vaishnava Pranam.
पंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for enlightening class, and thanks all devotees for being attentive. So again, tomorrow we'll meet at 7:15. Hare Krishna. Now ending the class.